Eurasia is the largest continent of our planet. These boundless steppes and mighty mountains became the cradle of the Turkic world thousands of years ago. I am Samat Tolukbay, a journalist and researcher. I follow in the footsteps of our ancestors, in the footsteps of the Turkic tribes and people who engendered a great nomadic civilization, who left our steppes and lived in different parts of the world. The School of Nomads, studying the past, creating the present to build the future. I went to the east of Uzbekistan, to one of the oldest cities in the Ferghana Valley, Margilan. From time immemorial, it is famous for its silk production. From ancient times, expensive fabrics were exported from here to Kashgar, Baghdad, and even Greece. Silkworm in Central Asia appeared 2,000 years ago. Margilan craftsmen also preserved the ancient method of silk production. This factory is one of the largest enterprises producing unique fabrics. 1,000 meters of silk are woven here per day, and not on automated equipment, but manually on wooden machines. Hello. Welcome. How are you? Thank you. All is well. My name is Samat. I'm a journalist from Kazakhstan. Oh, my name is Azanhan, and his is Yusufjan. Pleased to meet you. I'm a journalist studying your traditions, culture, and ancient crafts. Therefore, I decided to visit your workplace. I want to know about the famous Margilan silk.
Margilan yodgorlik korxonasi deb ataladi. Korxona 40 yildan ortiq tarixi bor. Bu yerda o'sha o'zbek hunarmandchiligi, o'zbek
I'm happy to tell you, our factory has 40 years of history.
qadimiy manbalarda
The traditional, truly Margilan silkworm has been preserved here.
mana shu Margilan shahridan o'tgan. Bu yerda o'sha ipakchiligi tarixi
You probably already know, our silk is 2,000 years old, and we managed to preserve the old methods of producing such fabrics as adras, satin, and we show all this to tourists.
turistlarga ko'rsatamiz. Xalqimizni mana shu hunarini, mana shu qizlarimiz ishlatgan hunarlarni saqlab qolganmiz. Mana shu yillardan beri.
There are legends about these fabrics. I'll tell them to you too. In the meantime, Yusuf will show you our factory. Welcome to Margilan, Samat. Thank you. Well, let's get started. According to historical information, silk was discovered in ancient China as early as 2 millennium BC. This beautiful fabric came to Central Asia thanks to trade routes. The first samples of Chinese silk appeared here at the beginning of the first millennium. The production of silk on the territory of modern Uzbekistan began in the 6th, 7th centuries. At the same time, caravan trade flourished on the Great Silk Road. It passed through Samarkand, Bukhara, Ferghana. This is the path connecting the civilizations of East and West, and silk was one of the most valuable goods.
Jibek mata өндірісінің негізі осы жерден басталады.
It is from here that silk production begins. So here we have
Pillamiz, marhamat. Endi bu pilladan oldin hamma narsa mana bu bilan
Look here, these are cocoons. And this is a silk caterpillar that produces silk. I would call it the most amazing reincarnation in nature.
ipak qurti bu qarang. Kapalakdan boshlanadi.
Oh, are they alive? Yes, they are alive. Silk originates from these butterflies.
Mana shu kapalak
It turns out that these caterpillars give us silk.
Mana shu narsa, mana shu kapalak tuxum qo'yadi. Mayda.
Yes, at the very beginning, this butterfly lays eggs. If you look here, you can see that the female lays up to 800 eggs.
Dona tuxum qo'yadi.
800 dona.
800 dona. Bu degani
You
mana,
see, these black dots in the future will turn into caterpillars.
ya'ni qurt,
Bular da
ipak
qaynav.
qurti bo'ladi. Ha? Endi hamma narsa, endi buni
Our people believe that if anyone sees a butterfly laying, he will be happy, because they only lay eggs once a year and die the next day. And you witnessed this miracle.
siz aynan shu mahal
That means I'm a happy person now. Yes, you are a happy person.
Sonda mına түсінген бойынша
If I understand correctly, then these caterpillars produce silk. And how exactly does this happen?
qarang. Mana bu tuxumlar, bular kelajak avlodlari. Shu narsa
Look, caterpillars will hatch from these eggs. They eat only mulberry leaves.
tut bargi
And then, pupating, the caterpillar weaves a cocoon, the shell of which consists of a continuous silk thread.
atrofiga o'raydi, o'zini atrofiga o'rab,
бұл қайдан шығады деген
ichiga kiradi. Ichiga kirgandan keyin mana bu
Then a
mana bu
butterfly hatches from a cocoon. After that, she puts off the grana. For 50-60 days, the caterpillar turns into a butterfly.
taxminan 50 kunning ichida shu bosqich bo'ladi. 50 kun o'tadi shungacha. 50-60 kungacha o'tadi. Bitta kapalak bo'yingacha jarayon. Bunda boqasiz, lekin bu o'zi daraxtda katta bo'lmaydi. Hozir endi buni xonakilashtirilib, uyda boqilyapti.
Now we grow them throughout the city at home, and cocoons and caterpillars require special care, like children.
Uyda xonadonda barg bilan katta qilasiz. Bu sizni farzandingiz kabi bo'ladi-da. Siz bularga e'tibor qilib qaraysiz, bularni vaqtida qornini to'ydirasiz, ya'ni barg bilan qornini to'y. Bu faqat barg yeydi xolos, ya'ni tut barg yeydi xolos. Bu suv ichmaydi. Suv
So they
kerak emas.
only eat mulberry leaves.
Bo'ldi,
Yes,
shu bilan
they eat only it.
berib, buni tozaligiga qarab, yaxshi nima deydi, tabiiy
There is a special feeding regimen. It is necessary to monitor the purity of the leaves. We grow caterpillars without the use of any chemistry. Ripened ones become the size of my finger. That is, they increase by 10,000 times.
mana shu tuxum holatidan katta bo'lgungacha mana shu barmog'imdek keladi. Qarang, 10,000 marta kattalashadi.
It is surprising that these caterpillars produce threads for the most expensive fabric in the world. Next, the cocoons are soaked in boiling water, and then with the help of such equipment, silk threads are pulled. From one cocoon, you can get a thread from 1,000 to 3,000 meters long.
тағы бір өңгерек
Ой, да. Умирали.
Let me try another one. Yes, of course. Oh, great.
күшті болды тағы бір
Let's try one more, or end it. For you, we'll find more.
мынау маған жақсы ермек
I found a good entertainment for myself.
отырған сияқты
Interesting. Yes, interesting.
үй мына
Oh, it slipped away.
мінекей бір қызық мәлімет айтып берейін бір жібек
I will tell you an interesting fact. It turns out that to make one silk thread, you need 30 cocoons. Since the thread from only one cocoon will not be strong. See how many threads here are pulled from cocoons.
тіллядан шығып жатқан жіптер
The factory has non-waste production. After all, the threads are stretched. The bare pupa are handed over to fisheries or poultry farms.
тіллядан алынған жіпті 100% дайын өнім деп айта алмаймыз
The threads that are obtained from cocoons, this is not a wholly finished product. To make them truly silk, the threads are soaked for 40 minutes in a soapy solution, with the addition of soda ash. Are these ready-made silk threads?
мынау дайын жібек жібі солай ғой
Yes, that is right.
енді бұны ары қарай
Now we will paint them.
Bo'yalishga bo'ladi.
Yes, we will paint. Could you tell us more about this? What paints will you use?
Turibmiz, bo'yoqxonada turibmiz. Shu aynan bo'yoqxona bizni bilasizmi?
Samajan, we are in the dyeing shop. That 70% of the quality of our silk depends on painting and how beautiful, bright, and juicy the patterns on the fabric will turn out. So silk will be in demand by the buyer. Therefore, we consider painting the most important stage in silkworm. So our silk is ready. We have different places of painting. We can dye the threads in one tone or lay on them different colors. We also paint the finished fabric.
Uni sifatliligini aytsa, demak yana qaytib kelib sizdan sotib oladi. Shuning uchun rang bo'yicha 70% sifat birinchi navbatga qo'yamiz. Endi biz rangni mana ipagimiz tayyor. Bizda ikkita uslub bor. Bo'yoq uslubini ikki xili bor. Ya'ni birinchisi bitta ranglik bir xil rangli qilib olamiz. Ikkinchi eng asosiy uslubimiz bu ipakka naqsh chizib keyin ranglaymiz. Bu yerda mana masalan kimyoviy bo'yoqlardan tashqari bizda tabiiy bo'yoqqa ko'proq urg'u beramiz. Ya'ni tabiiy bo'yoqqa bugungi kunda
We use only natural paints, no chemicals. And now there is a great demand for fabrics dyed with natural paints. Such tissues do not cause allergies, and there is no harm to health. The whole world is now trying to move on to everything natural. These are natural paints. Let me explain to you more easily. For example, this is a pomegranate growing in our country.
masalan deylik anor po'chog'i.
Anarning qabig'i.
Qobig'i, mana anor qobig'i.
That is the pomegranate peel. Yes, it gives a golden yellow color.
Oltin
Clear.
Oltin rang, oltin ko'rinishda sariq rang beradi. Endi undan tashqari bizda yapon daraxti bor. Yapon daraxti akatsiya deb nomlanadi. Safura yoki akatsiya deb.
Yes, it gives a golden color. And this is our Japanese acacia. From these colors, we get shades of yellow.
Ko'rinishni olishingiz mumkin. Endi bundan
Buni qaydan olasizlar?
buni o'zim
Topshirib berasizlarmi yoki boshqa o'zingmi?
bilasizmi O'zbekistonda
Where do you get them from?
daraxtlar
Do you order somewhere or does acacia grow in your place too?
odamlarimiz o'zimizda bog'larda juda ko'p dekorativ daraxt sifatida foydalanadi. Juda katta chiroyli go'zal daraxt. Bundan tushgan gullarini terib olib, bularni shunaqa rang uchun foydalanadi.
From onion peel and nuts, we get brown, pink shades. Of course, the creation of natural dyes is a laborious process. In order to obtain the necessary color, it is necessary to boil 100 kilograms of onion or nut husk for several days. And the color that one master received cannot be repeated by the other.
Al endi
Since it takes 3 to 4 days to produce dyes and I don't have so much time, please tell me, can you already have paternal paints? I just have to see the painting process.
bo'yoqda ko'rib berib qo'ying.
Bugun siz uchun alohida shu kelganingiz uchun, mehmon sifatida kelganingiz uchun biz sizga alohida tayyorlab qo'ydik. Rang, ya'ni hammaga
Yes, of course, we have finished paints, and you can even participate in the process of painting silk yourself. Now, I will introduce you to our master. Great, let's go.
Keramet.
sog'lom.
Бұл жерде бояу жұмыстарын жүргіземіз.
So now, we will begin the process of dyeing silk. I will make a silk scarf for beautiful girls. The fabric is ready, and the colors need to be diluted, right?
Бұларды езуіміз керек алдымен, иә?
Yes, you're right.
Күлгін түспен қызылды араластырамыз ба?
Will we mix purple with red? No, we will separate and then mix.
Hozir men suv quyamiz.
Let's add some water. Enough?
Al endi
Now, what are we going to do?
Tariflarimizni.
We will tie a scarf. I took 2 fabrics. Take off your gloves for now. I will show and you repeat. You start from the edges.
Bir xilda boshlaymiz, ko'rsataman.
From this side,
Ushladik uchidan.
Like that, you hold and squeeze.
Mana. Boshidan boshlab, mana. Har xil tomonga. Qattiq tortning o'tda.
Squeeze the middle firmly and wind it up.
Ipni oling bittasini. Aylantiramiz. Bo'ldi, torting qattiq.
Now pull it. Wrap around again. Do you need to tie the threads now?
Bir-biriga bas mana.
No. That's how you do it. Ah, you have to pass it from the inside. So we bandaged the future scarf in 3 places. Frankly, I have not yet understood why we're all doing this. We dipped one side of the fabric in red paint, the other in purple. It's very interesting what we'll get in the end. I couldn't even imagine the master ordered to rinse well the scarf in ordinary water. I wonder what kind of scarf we get. It will turn out beautiful. You'll see. Whoa!
Geometri yo'q material mana oddiy.
This is how we dyed our 2-meter fabric.
Qarangizlar, suratlarning barlig'i birdek, birgalikda bo'lib tushdi.
This is how we dyed our 2-meter fabric. Look, all the drawings turned out perfectly even, and we just bandaged the fabric. Great. And such a drawing cannot be repeated again. Now you need to hang it to dry. Yes, we'll hang it to dry. And after it dries, the scarf will be ready. Let's go! It is amazing that the pattern on my scarf is unique, just like no one else has it. And this wind seems to make it clear that it wants to take all these beautiful scarves away.
Ağa kәсіпорныңыз керемет екен. Өткен ғасырлардағы істердің
You have a wonderful factory. You are able to maintain centuries-old traditions. I saw the beauty of Margilan silk and felt all the good energy that your craftsmen spent on its creation.
осыған
Tell us when and how did you start engaging in this craft?
неге жібекпен айналыстыңыз?
Bu bir ertakka o'xshagan narsa. Biz 1981-yili mana shu yerga kelganman.
I first came to Margilan in 1981 and met local old people who were hiding from the Soviet government and secretly engaged in traditional silk warming.
O'zbek hunarmandchiligini, ipak hunarmandchiligini oltin fondi bo'lgan. Bular shuni saqlab yurgan, o'sha sovetlar davrida quvg'in bo'lgan mahallarda ham ular podvallarda, boshqa uylarda bekinib yashagan.
Then I combined them into a small workshop. Listening to the stories and stories of Aksakals, I got the idea to revive the traditional silkworm.
Keyin ulardan shu tarixni, afsonalarni eshitib, ular bizga shu o'zbek ipakchiligini, buyuk ipak yo'li tarixini gapirib berishgan va o'zlarini.
After the collapse of the Soviet Union, when Uzbekistan became an independent state, it was in the 90s. I gathered all the craftsmen and organized the first festival. Since then, I tirelessly continue to study the history of Margilan silk.
Sox ipakchilikka juda ham katta e'tibor boshlangan. Shu vaqtda biz birinchi hunarmandlarni hammasini to'plab hunarmandlar festivali qildik.
The Uzbek Khan Atlas is almost entirely made by hand. The unique technology invented by Ferghana masters has a history of 4,000 years. A special place is occupied by traditional fabrics made according to ancient technology, which is called ikat in the West. It comes from the Indonesian word menikat, which means to bind. This sophisticated weaving technique is done exclusively by hand. In Uzbekistan, such a technique is called aberband, which means a bound cloud.
Өзбек халқына тән абырбанд нақышындағы матаны жасап шығаруды мен расымен де үлкен бір ғылым деп айтар едім. Өйткені бұл бірнеше күрделі кезеңдерден тұрады. Мысалға, түрлі түсті матаны бояп шығу үшін шебер ең алдымен ақ жібек жіпті.
Drawing in a technique of Aberband, I would call the whole science, because the process consists of several complex steps. For example, to get a colorful fabric, the master first pulls the threads on a special 2-meter frame. First, he draws sketches of the future drawing based on his own imagination. And to give them color, he uses an interesting method. For example, white patterns on this fabric, just not stained parts. To get such a result, the master bandages the necessary fragments so that they do not get paint. The master stains the remaining exposed parts of the threads in the colors he needs. As a result, we get such multicolored threads, from which we will further weave a beautiful silk fabric.
Маталар шығады.
Endi yana bitta legenda bor. Mana Xon Atlas. Buni kelib chiqishi tarixi shunaqaki, bir hunarmand yigit podshoni.
There is a legend about how Khan Atlas fabric appeared. A long time ago, there a poor master lived who fell in love with the Khan's daughter. Having learned about this, the ruler ordered the young man to weave fabric of amazing beauty in 3 days. Otherwise, he would kill the poor fellow. The saddened master left the palace and sat on a bridge under which a river flowed.
Kunduzi bo'lgan chiroyli osmondagi havo.
Suddenly, in reflection, he saw beautiful clouds. They shimmered in a variety of colors. Then the thought came to the master to weave a light fabric with iridescent clouds. This technique is called abrand. Abr means a cloud from Persian, and a band means to tie. Khan was pleased with the work of the master. From this fabric is called Khan Atlas. That is, the Khan's Atlas.
Boylab bo'yab ertalabga matoni yaratib olgan. Matoni nomini Xon Atlas degan. Ya'ni xonlar kiyadigan atlas, eng qimmat.
The abrand technique cannot be mastered in one day. The weaver has been practicing the art of drawing for years. Therefore, I decided not to even try. I'll try to learn immediately to weave at least a little silk fabric on the machine.
To'quv dastgohi bu eng qadimiy dastgohlardan biri. Bu dunyo tarixida, dunyo jahon tarixida dastgohlar, ya'ni to'quv dastgohlar yo'nalishi bo'yicha eng qadimiysi hisoblanadi. Bu yerda bir nechta turidagi o'zgarishlar bo'lgan xolos. Asosan qadimiy o'sha ko'rinishi. Bu bizni o'zbek
This is an old loom. From ancient times, our grandmothers wove webs on such like this.
O'zbek
The Uzbeks call him dukan. The Uzbek machine has several pedals. This too, 4 and 8 pedal.
2 tepkilik, 4 ta tepkilik va 8 ta tepkilik bo'ladi.
Sonda
So 2 people are sitting at the 4 pedal, and 4 are the 8 pedal.
Oyog'ida tepib o'tiradi. Endi mana qarang. 2 ta tepki deganda, 2 ta tepkilik mato deganda bu
No, one person can control all the pedals. For example, a fabric woven on the 2 pedals has the same texture on both sides. A woven on 4 or 8 pedals have 2 sides, the front and the back side. In other words, this is how our famous atlas is woven.
Sizga ularda farq bo'ladi. Oldida o'ng bo'ladi, orqasi teskari bo'ladi. Bizning tilda o'ng va ters. Yoki bo'lmasam dunyo jahon tilida atlasli mato bo'ladi. Ya'ni ko'rinishi yiltiroq mato bo'ladi.
First of all, on the loom it is necessary to correctly position the threads. The work was not easy. Imagine, without confusing 1200 threads, divide equally into 2 pedals. By alternately clicking on them, the craftswoman must drag between the two rows of yarns and fix the woven row. In a word, mathematics is necessary here. To weave 1 centimeter of fabric, we need to drag it between rows exactly 24 times. So per day, on such a machine, we can produce only 5 meters of fabric.
Buni alohida maktabi faqat xonadonda yoki mana bu joyda ishlaydi.
Samant, this art is not taught at school or college. You can't learn this only from drawings and books. Everything can be comprehended only in practice. So you have the opportunity to try. Great. Can you teach me this? Yes, we will teach. Well, let me sit down.
O'rgatadilar.
Al endi. O'tirib ko'ring.
Oting.
Atamiz.
Siz
Birinchisi.
Pull it like that. The first did not work. Now the second one.
keyingi tepki.
Left leg. Now a little bit left. Oh, just a little bit left.
Amraxon gapir.
Hozir.
Now the third. Oh, something in this did not work out. That is it.
Buyam o'tdi. Biroz oz.
You learn so slowly.
Ha, o'rgatamiz.
Жоқ, шеберлердің бәрі өсіп
Do all masters do this at the beginning? Or am I just so incapable?
Hammada shu. Hammada shu bo'ladi. O,
Мына өтпей қалды.
bu hunarni o'rganish.
No. Everyone starts like that. On average, our students master the machine in 2 months. This is at best. In 2 months.
Bizi nima deydi, hunarlarimizdan biri.
Yes, it just seems that easy. In fact, working at the machine requires skill.
Menimcha murakkab bo'lsa kerak, to'g'rimi?
Дұрыс айтасыз. Көзге оңай көрінеді.
Ha, oson ko'rinadi.
Yes, indeed, everything just seems easy. And then it just goes that way. In general, I didn't become the master.
Chiqadi.
Do not be hurry. It will work out now. We'll teach. We have a good school.
Болды. Болды.
Yana shu o'rganamiz ama.
Мен басқа істі үйренейін одан.
Let me do something else. Otherwise, I'll completely ruin everything here. Look, you've made a lot. Thanks. I didn't even think that it would be so difficult. And when you look at the master, so they all do it on the machine. It is curious that anyone can come to the factory. He can get acquainted with the progress of work and order his favorite fabric. And tourists love to stare at this ancient craft.
Бұл жерді қалдықсыз кәсіпорын деп тағы бір мәрте қайталап өтейін. Өйткені бағанағы жарамсыз деп таныған піллеларымыздан
Once again, I would like to note that this is a non-waste production. Even unsuitable cocoons can produce magnificent silk. They're also softened in hot water and pulled by hand. As a result, we get such durable silk threads. Strong carpets are woven from them.
кілем тоқу цехіне қолданады. Қазір оны да көрсетеміз.
This factory produces not only fabrics, but also silk carpets. And all is made by hand, according to old technologies. Look, beautiful. I can't take my eyes off. A huge mulberry tree grows in the courtyard of the silk factory. This is very symbolic. Indeed, the silkworm caterpillar eats the leaves of the mulberry tree. There is an Uzbek proverb: the one who planted a mulberry tree would be collecting pearls for 100 years. And after spending one day in the factory, I became convinced of the wisdom of these words. Indeed, silk, which is obtained from these white-like pearls of cocoons, has incredible beauty, a centuries-old history, and is a jewel not only in Uzbekistan, but in the whole fairy tale East.